If you've talked to a few agents in Ottawa already, maybe you've gone through a couple of open houses and walked away from that experience feeling like you were being sold to rather than helped, that is not an uncommon experience. A lot of agents lead the conversation in the same way, and a lot of the times it's because it's just the way we're trained when we're starting in the industry. Here's what I can do for you. Give me your email so I can send you listings. Here's how great my brokerage is or my brand is or my team is. And most buyers just kind of go along with it because they don't know what else to ask. But here's the problem with that. The agents you don't ask at the beginning of the process are often the ones you wish you will have asked 6 months later. I've been working with buyers in Ottawa for a while now, and the clients who end up with the best experience always come in with better questions. So here are the ones I'd want you to ask, including a couple most buyers rarely think of, especially the first time around. Question number 1 is, will you tell me if you think that I'm making a mistake? This is the most important question on the list, in my opinion, and almost nobody asks it unprompted. You want to work with somebody who's going to be comfortable pumping the brakes if the home inspection turns up a red flag, if the price is inflated for the street, or if it looks like you're letting emotion drive you into a decision that you might regret later. Not someone who's just going to get the deal done. The answer to this question tells you almost everything you need to know. An agent who says yes gives you a real example of a time they talked a client out of a bad deal. That's someone who's going to work for you and represent your best interest. An agent who gets uncomfortable or pivots to talking about their own integrity instead of giving you an actual example is worth paying attention to. Question number 2 is, how many active buyers are you working with right now? This one can surprise people, but think about it. If your agent is juggling 15 active buyers, how much attention are you actually going to be getting? A busy agent is not always a good agent. You want someone with the capacity to respond when a strong listing hits, to preview properties before you walk in, and to actually think about your file between conversations. Ask the question directly and see what you get. On the flip side, if there are no active buyers in that person's pipeline, it's possible they may be inexperienced, so that's something you may want to consider as well. Question 3 is, how well do you know the areas that I'm looking in? In Ottawa, this matters more than most people realize. Canada, Stittsville, Barrhaven, Nepean, Orleans, these places are not interchangeable. Ottawa geographically is one of the biggest cities in Canada. The streets are different, the school catchment areas are different, the new developments going up on the edge of one neighborhood affect resale values differently than in another. An agent who genuinely knows the West End knows which streets back onto a future development zone, which condo buildings might have reserve fund problems in their history, and which builders have a reputation for delivering late or cutting corners on finishes. A local expert is going to know the information that doesn't live on MLS or on the listing sheet. You only get it from someone who has experience in the area, and you won't know the difference until you ask. Question number 4 is, what does your process look like from offer to close? A lot of agents wing it. They'll say something like, every deal is different, or we'll figure it out when we get there. Now, that's not entirely wrong. There's a lot of things that can come up that will affect how each individual transaction shakes out, but you want an agent who has a system. You want to know how they're going to structure the offer, which conditions they recommend, and why they're important, and how they manage the communication when things get complicated. What you're looking to hear is that they've done this enough times that they have a process that you can trust, because uncertainty in the agent becomes anxiety in the buyer, and there's already plenty of anxiety in the buying process for your first home. Question number 5 is one of my favorites, and it's, tell me about a deal that went sideways and what happened, how did you handle it? This is one that really tells you who you're sitting across from. Every agent who's been doing this for more than a couple of years has had a deal that got complicated. It failed an inspection. There was a financing condition that didn't close, or something fell through. A bidding situation went badly. The question isn't whether or not it happened, it's what they did when things went wrong. An agent who can walk you through this kind of story honestly, tell you what went wrong, what they did, and what they learned, is an agent who's going to show up for you if and when things get complicated in your transaction, because at some point, it's very possible that it will. Now, you don't need to give every agent that you talk to the third degree and treat it like it's a job application. But walking into that first conversation with a couple of these questions in hand can really change the dynamic. You're not just a buyer hoping to be helped. You're someone who knows what a good working relationship looks like, and the right kind of agent is going to respect you for it. The wrong kind of agent might get a little bit nervous. Once you've chosen an agent that you trust, the next step is to actually go through the process of buying the home, which I can tell you all about in the next video. Check it out.